All right, obviously, UFC 300 is coming up next week. I, what do you do with this whole Bo Nickal thing? Especially if you watch Twitter, X, whatever. It's mostly people flipping out because he should be fighting somebody else, whatever. Here's the thing: Bo Nickal only has 5 fights in the UFC. I think he has what, 7 total? Doesn't he have 2 contender series? I think, and then he's got some a couple of amateur, which I didn't see on his record where I was looking recently. But anyway, so I mean, he's got, I don't know, maybe 10 fights total. Maybe, I think, I don't, he only just started fighting. I mean, what, like 3 years? A little less, I think, total. It was like between 2.5 and 3 years since the first time he started doing any MMA. I mean, obviously he's got all that wrestling, but I don't know. He watches fights and it's not all wrestling. There's not very much wrestling. Actually, it was all hands. The dude's got hands. Everybody knows that by now. Cody Brundage is not bad. I mean, he's 10-5. So you look at it and you go, oh, that's not good. Well, he's had some, pretty good competition. He's no punk. That's for sure. I mean, you look down at the odds on here, minus 1350 and a plus 800. And then I called one of my sons that does bets, and we were just kind of trying to figure out some different stuff on here. You take a look. Here is negative 1400 plus 650. On the money line, it's negative 2400 plus 1200. Those are huge. Like, to my knowledge, I don't bet. I don't gamble. So it's a little bit hard for me to put it into perspective, but my understanding is that's pretty crazy. But I mean, it goes back to the argument of, should he be fighting Cody Brundage next? And while I've defended that a lot, I mean, I guess maybe he shouldn't if you look at it that way. The guy needs, the only thing he's really missing is time in the cage and that experience, getting used to stuff. He's got a couple fights. He has that huge wrestling background. It's obvious that he can do some stand-up because he's knocked a couple people out. But I don't know. I feel like after this one, I mean, I think he's going to win. And after this, he's going to have to hit the bottom of the top 15. Or it's just, if he doesn't, it's probably just too ridiculous. I mean, look at the way the odds are. Poor Cody Brundage makes him look like a chump, but Cody Brundage isn't a chump. He can fight. He's not the best fighter in the UFC, that's for sure, but he's not horrible. He's not horrible by any means. It's just, then you take a look, like, this is Bo's record. He's got 2 knockouts and 3 submissions. He's 5-0. See, it doesn't have his on here. It doesn't have his amateur record. I'm sure probably Tapology or something does, because I know I've seen it before. But Jamie Pickett's decent. Woodburn's decent. These guys a little less to be desired. But it is with the Contender Series. Oh, and that has Mazda. Okay, so he's 5-0 with all of it. I thought he had a couple more in the UFC. He doesn't. He's got 2 in the UFC, 2 in the Contender Series, and then 1 in Masvidal's Icon. Huh. That's not a lot of experience. It really isn't when you think about it, and you started less than 3 years ago. But now you get to the last piece of the equation. Take a look at his record. He's got some losses in the end, but this is after years of wins. Look at the wins. These are all super high level guys too. These are, those are at the Olympic team trials. How many people can go to the Olympic team trials? Out of all the wrestlers in the U.S., how many can get there? Not very many. So those wins. This is the NCAA. It's just tons of wins for years. We're down to 2017, 2018 Southerns, 2017. I mean, look. just nuts. His record is insane. Look at all those wins. And then you go to his college record. He went 30-0 in 2019 as a senior. 100% win on 130 matches. He's got 31 matches here, 100% win rate. 26-1 as a sophomore, 33-2 as a freshman. I mean, and then he's got some grappling. I'm assuming these are pretty high level guys. Now you got to remember he's not like a BJJ guy or anything like that. But he did a super fight with Gordon Ryan. And of course he lost. Why wouldn't he lose? I've heard some people be like, well, he lost to Gordon Ryan. Well, yeah. The fact that he went on a mat with Gordon Ryan not having really any BJJ is mind-boggling, to begin with. And then, you even lasted 5 seconds is craziness. So I don't know. I guess next I think they're pretty much going to have to put him up with number 15, 14, 13, somewhere in there. If they don't, I think everybody else is going to be right that they're not, it's not playing out the right way. Can't just put somebody that is that good against schlubs. This isn't boxing.